doctors try to put us in a box, right? If you have periodic paralysis, you're going to present a certain way. No, that's not necessarily the case at all. And then you have people who, like myself, might, if that's what the research shows, has a form of periodic paralysis that they don't even have on the books yet. It presents in different ways. The one thing is paralysis. The hyper, or the one that comes before the periodic paralysis. We don't necessarily need to focus on what is the periodic paralysis until we do have a diagnosis. I highly recommend trigger logs, writing down what are your triggers, really getting to understand what foods trigger episodes, what makes you feel a certain way when you eat. You may not go into full paralysis. You may just get nauseous, or you might just get a headache, or you might just get, a weird sensation throughout your body. It doesn't have to send you all the way into paralysis for you to know, you know what, maybe I need to stay away from that food. But then also knowing your limits, which is really, really hard. And I'm one of those people. It's not okay, for me anyway, to push my limits. Okay, so I'm just gonna have a mild episode and it's not a big deal. It could be a big deal. I need to think of my future, not just today. So for me personally, my triggers are cold, certain things that I eat, and emotional stress. But it tends to happen when there's a combination. Some people, maybe it's just 2 triggers. For me, it's usually 3 triggers that can send me into an episode. But knowing your triggers and knowing and being able to avoid them is key in helping you control in everyday life. So because I don't present the way most people present with periodic paralysis or anything else really, my body can go into paralysis, full paralysis. I can look like I'm totally unconscious, but I'm there. I can have what looks like a seizure, which my whole body will contract. My muscles will contract so much that it will distort my wrists, my arms. Not only does it make my muscles contort, but it will give me facial palsy. Like one side of my face will sag. So they kept thinking we must be missing something. So they've done a lot of study on that. And so but every time came back, it's psychogenic. But what we found though, was that if it is paramyotonia or some form of myotonia, those muscle contractions that they are picking up on those seizure studies could be coming from the muscle contractions of the myotonia. And that would explain why I got that misdiagnosis.
I'm starting to come out of the paralysis. I'm still weak. I can move my arms. I just can't lift them. I can move them. And I can move my head. I can't lift it. And I can move maybe a little bit. I can move my leg. I just can't lift them. And that's it, I guess.
So I'm fortunate enough to be able to basically build my life around managing my periodic paralysis. One of my triggers is being startled. So I can't have an alarm clock. So I have to really manage how I wake up. Whatever works for me diet-wise, I pretty much eat the same thing every morning. I don't venture to say, oh, well, I wonder how I'm gonna do on this, because I don't want my whole day to be ruined because of the wrong thing I put in my body first thing in the morning. So I eat the same breakfast every day. I pretty much eat the same types of stuff for lunch, same types of stuff for dinner, but it's worth it for me. I'd rather have my mobility, have my ability to do things that I love to do, than eat something that might ruin my day or the next week. I have been, when it comes to my potassium, managing my potassium, and again, that's because I've been diagnosed with hypo. I have benefited from potassium, but I also have to take magnesium because I don't hold on to magnesium, and I also struggle with holding on to sodium as well. Even my bicarbonate's been low. So I do take potassium, magnesium, and sometimes I do the potassium bicarbonate to get some carbonate in there too. And then of course, table salt. I know that a lot of people with PP, especially hypo, have to stay away from salt. I need salt. So I've tried medications. I am someone that right now I'm able to control things with my diet and with the potassium and the magnesium. I have gone on some medications in the past for a short period of time. My body doesn't tolerate them. I'm definitely going to try whatever it takes for me to keep my mobility. My service dog has 2 pouches. So it has my medication. It actually has directions because I'm out and about by myself sometimes. And if I ever had to rely on, the kindness of a stranger to help me, it's all right there. It's in my cell phone. I have information which has been handy when I have had to go with paramedics. They had every information, my doctor, what I'm taking, what my condition is, because sometimes I'm unable to speak with them. And then also which hospital that I prefer to go to. My phone has the emergency contact. iPhones have emergency on there, and there is a whole thing in there. You can go in and you can set it all up. And paramedics usually know to check your cell phone. But if I'm out and about and I'm with someone, because this did happen. I was at breakfast with my friend. Episode came on really fast. I was losing the ability to speak. It happened so quickly that as I was speaking to her, my language, I had problems. My jaw stopped working, but I was able to get out enough so that she knew that it was in my phone. But yeah, it was crazy. I pack a little cooler, and that way, if I become hungry, because it can become very sudden if I'm stuck in traffic, or if there's because I can't eat anything, I have to eat specific things. It's available to me, I can eat it, and it does help that shift from happening. I've noticed that it definitely helps. I do yoga. I find that I do yoga, which helps a lot with the myotonia type symptoms. And I try to do that about 5 days a week and move. But again, mine is myotonia symptoms as well. So my muscles will become very stiff and hard if I don't stay active. So my passion in life is horses. It's always been, as long as I could say the word, it's been horses. And I spent 25 years in the horse industry, mainly teaching beginners and novice riders. And sadly, this condition got to the point where I just couldn't do it anymore because it's a very physical job, but I still ride, and it is my soul. Like, it is huge therapy, and I feel that I'm missing a part of me when I'm not doing it. Recently, I just moved my horse to a new barn, and they have a whole therapy program there, and which excites me. I think it's beautiful that, again, fate again, right? I really believe that this was meant to be for me to be at that specific barn. They do have therapy horses and trained people that are able to help people who are even in wheelchairs to be able to participate and ride horses. So our goal is to get Miss Linda on a horse, which she's come out to the barn. She loves horses, and I hope that this comes to be for her. We can ride together. I told her, I said, Linda, you and I are gonna get to go horseback riding together. Getting a service dog was a very hard decision for me because again, most of the time I look like a average person, and having a service dog to me felt like having a neon sign that I have a disability. So I struggled with that. Then the other part that I struggled with is I don't need a service dog every day. I maybe need him once a month. And so I worked with a local trainer, and what we decided on is that what I need the help the most in is when I am starting to go in an episode and I cannot communicate to the people around me that I need help, especially when I'm out by myself. So my service dog, one, he allows paramedics or the general public to see that if I can look intoxicated when I'm having an episode. I can look like I'm stumbling. I can have slurred speech. He helps people realize that she's not intoxicated. She has a disability. And so that's the one of the things that he does. The other is that if I am in the mall and I am going into paralysis, he will alert. He does a certain alert where he gets onto my lap, part of his body, because he's a large dog, and he will look for people and he barks to alert them. Yes, there's something, she needs help here. But he also has been trained to help me with when I am having an episode, but I'm not in full episode, like with my mobility. He has a handle on his vest to help me get up from the sitting position or to go upstairs. But then he also helps me if I am in the wheelchair or if I'm having to use a walker. He can retrieve things for me because my episodes do present differently. It's been a little challenge for the poor guy because I may present with paralysis or I may present with myotonia type symptoms. So it's been a little challenging for him. So I struggled with getting a service dog, and now I feel foolish because it was one of the best things, and I'm gonna get emotional. It was one of the best things I've done for myself.
If you would like to know more about periodic paralysis, visit periodicparalysis.org. And if you enjoyed this video and want more, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell so you don't miss any future videos. It really does help spread the word. You can view other videos about periodic paralysis by clicking the thumbnails to the right. If you have questions, just leave a comment below or reach out to us on social media. We'd love to hear from you.